The world was a very different place in 2016. We had hope, we had optimism, we also had low-rise genes, but that's a story for another time. From 2016 to 2021, the political landscape shifted dramatically. New leaders emerged, promising change and disruption. These leaders tapped into a wave of populism, riding it all the way to the top. They challenged the status quo, they rewrote the rules of engagement, they also tweeted a lot. This era was defined by political earthquakes. The UK voted for Brexit. Donald Trump became the 45th President of the United States. Imran Khan rose to power in Pakistan. These were not just isolated events. They were symptoms of a deeper global trend. The world was changing, and these three men were right there at the center of it all. Imran Khan, the legendary cricketer turned politician, captured the hearts of millions in Pakistan. He promised a Naya Pakistan, a new Pakistan free from corruption and poverty. His message resonated with the people. They were tired of the old ways. They craved change. Khan's rise to power was meteoric. He became prime minister in 2018, riding a wave of popular support. He promised to tackle corruption. He pledged to improve social welfare. He vowed to make Pakistan a global player. Khan's tenure was marked by both successes and challenges. He implemented ambitious social welfare programs. He tried to stabilize the economy. He navigated the COVID-19 pandemic with limited resources, but he also faced criticism. His opponents accused him of authoritarianism. They pointed to rising inflation and unemployment. On the world stage, Khan tried to carve out a distinct role for Pakistan. He focused on relations with India, Afghanistan, and China. He presented himself as a mediator, a voice for peace in a troubled region. Few could have predicted the rise of Donald Trump. The real estate mogul and reality TV star defied all expectations. He tapped into a deep vein of anger and resentment in America. He promised to make America great again. And in 2016, he won the presidency. Trump's presidency was a whirlwind of controversy, policy shifts, and Twitter storms. He implemented tax cuts favoring the wealthy. He rolled back regulations, impacting the environment and consumer protections. He took a hard line on immigration, building a wall on the US-Mexico border. On the international stage, Trump pursued an America First agenda. He withdrew the US from the Paris Climate Agreement. He renegotiated trade deals, sparking trade wars with China. He clashed with allies and adversaries alike. Trump's presidency was also marked by scandals and investigations. He faced impeachment twice, though he was acquitted both times. He was accused of obstruction of justice and abuse of power. He was a constant fixture in the news cycle, often for the wrong reasons. Section 4. Boris Johnson, Brexit and beyond. Across the pond, another charismatic yet controversial figure rose to prominence: Boris Johnson. The former mayor of London was a leading voice in the Brexit campaign. He championed the idea of a Britain free from the European Union. And in 2019, he became prime minister. Johnson's premiership was dominated by Brexit. He negotiated a withdrawal agreement with the EU. He led the UK out of the bloc in 2020, but the process was far from smooth. It divided the country, it strained relations with Europe, and it left many questions unanswered about the UK's future. Beyond Brexit, Johnson faced a host of challenges. He grappled with the COVID-19 pandemic, facing criticism for his government's handling of the crisis. He dealt with the economic fallout from Brexit, which exacerbated existing inequalities. He tried to address social issues like healthcare and housing with mixed results. Despite his initial popularity, Johnson's premiership was marred by scandals. He was accused of misleading Parliament. He faced allegations of cronyism and hypocrisy. His approval ratings plummeted, and in 2022 he resigned in disgrace. Section 5. The rise of populism and global polarization. The rise of Khan, Trump, and Johnson was not a coincidence. They were all products of their time. They tapped into a global wave of populism, fueled by economic anxiety, cultural resentment, and a distrust of elites. They offered simple solutions to complex problems. They appealed to emotion rather than reason, and they divided people rather than uniting them. This era was marked by increasing political polarization. The gap between the left and the right widened. Social media became a battleground for political discourse, often amplifying the most extreme voices. Trust in institutions eroded, and the very fabric of democracy seemed under threat. The global economy also underwent significant shifts during this period. Globalization continued apace, connecting the world in unprecedented ways. But it also created winners and losers, fueling inequality and resentment. Trade wars erupted, disrupting global supply chains, and the COVID-19 pandemic exposed the fragility of the global system. Section 6. A lasting impact: lessons and legacies. The period between 2016 and 2021 will be studied and debated for years to come. It was a time of profound change and upheaval, a time when the old order seemed to be crumbling, and the legacies of leaders like Khan, Trump, and Johnson will continue to shape the world we live in today. These leaders left an indelible mark on their respective countries and on the global stage. They challenged norms, disrupted institutions, and reshaped the political landscape. They also exposed deep divisions within societies, fueling polarization and eroding trust. The rise of populism during this era raises important questions about the future of democracy. Can democratic institutions withstand the onslaught of demagoguery and misinformation? Can societies bridge their divides and find common ground? These are questions that we must grapple with if we hope to build a more just and equitable world. The lessons from this tumultuous period are many. We learned about the fragility of democracy, we learned about the dangers of unchecked power, and we learned about the importance of truth, accountability, and civic engagement. These are lessons that we must carry with us as we navigate the challenges of the 21st century.